Hey YouTube and fellow Heavy Rain lovers, I've had this crazy idea that's been brewing in my mind and I've been stewing on it for quite some time there. I want to talk about Heavy Rain some more. This is not going to be a re-review. I've already done my review for Heavy Rain. It's the very first video that I made back in December in 2012. But I noticed, because I'm just going to put it out there, I hate watching my own YouTube videos. I hate it. I can't stand listening to myself and my voice. But I really wanted to see the progression of where I first started off and where I am now. And when I watched it, I noticed that I didn't talk about spoilers, and that was for your own protection. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about spoilers galore. Like, I'm going to go chock-a-block spoilers. So if you've not played Heavy Rain, I would advise you to end the video now. Again, for your own protection. And then I want to say a few thank yous. And I want to talk about why Heavy Rain is so important and share with you my opinions on why it's such a masterpiece. So first and foremost, I'll get the thank yous out of the way first. I just want to say thank you to the YouTube community. You guys are truly awesome. The gaming community, you guys have really made your YouTube feel like home to me, because I'm still a spring chicken at YouTube. I've only been with YouTube for about 5 months, so I'm still quite new and I'm learning stuff. I didn't know how to take a video back then. That's how much of a noob I was. But anyway, we'll come full circle now. So thank you guys so much for your awesome feedback on every single video that I've made. I really enjoy reading your comments, and it's really nice to know that other gamers out there share your same passion for video games. And a lot of you might not know this, but I intend to get into video game journalism one day. So that's something that I hold quite serious to a point, but I really cannot live without gaming. It's never just a game, right? Right. And yeah, so thank you so much, and I really want to say thank you especially to the people that have made comments on my Heavy Rain soundtrack Heavy Rain soundtrack video, which has almost garnered 3/4 of my YouTube views. So I had to credit my Heavy Rain soundtrack. I didn't intend on doing videos or soundtracks whatsoever, but Heavy Rain was really the game. Let me just pull the camera up. Heavy Rain was the game that really nudged me into YouTube. I had no intentions of doing videos on YouTube whatsoever, guys, and it took one game that I absolutely felt passionate about to share my own opinions and get people talking. That's what I like doing. I love talking. So I think I got all the sentimentals out of the way, so thank you. Nextly, let's talk about why Heavy Rain is so important to me. The reason why it's so important is because it had 4 things, and it's got these 4 things, and a lot of games don't have these. Great story, great characters, great music, great development. All 4 of these things make a masterpiece game, and that's what Heavy Rain is. It is a masterpiece. It is the finest PS3 game ever. It's one of the finest games ever. It includes one of the best soundtracks ever. And I'm dropping this into a lot of categories, but I think it fits relatively nicely. And it really took a lot of the scenes in the game. It really had an impact on me, and I shed some man tears. I made a mention of this in my review as well. I shed some man tears. And spoiler alert, a lot of these scenes, there are 2 scenes mainly. The first scene was where Ethan Mars had to cut off his finger during one of the trials, and he had to cauterize his wound. And I don't know why, I've seen a lot of gory shit, like movies and so on and so forth, so I should be quite desensitized to that kind of stuff, but I don't know. It hit me like a ton of bricks, that scene, and among others as well, but these are the 2 notable ones. And the final one was when Ethan Mars had to save his son Sean from at the bottom of the well at the very last part of the game. So these 2 scenes really hit an emotional chord with me anyway. I know a lot of people didn't cry in this game. They think I'm a complete pussy. That's cool, you know. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm human, so I have no qualms whatsoever about that. And I want to talk about the ending that I got. I didn't talk about this in my review whatsoever. Again, I wanted to keep it spoiler free as possible, and I want to discuss my ending that I got. My very first ending. I'm up to my 6th playthrough. There's 22 endings in all, I know. I don't have a lot of time nowadays. I've got other games to play as well, so I had to kind of prioritize what games I want to play on my days off and so on and so forth. But the ending I got, Norman Jayden, let's just say Detective Norman Jayden, because I think his accent is completely ridiculous. It's this crazy French guy. I'm sure he's French. But yeah, Nyman Jayden died, unfortunately, because the part where you have to, this is like at the very end of the game, mind you, you have to build up your case and you have to find all the evidence. And I did not find the gold watch from the surveillance camera from the Blue Lagoon Club, if you remember. I didn't spot this watch, and I took too much time stuffing around, and my poor old druggy mate, he was on tryptophan, I believe. He went crazy and started bleeding out of his eyeballs and his mouth and whatnot. So Nyman Jayden did die, unfortunately, but all my other characters survived. Scott Shelby lived, Madison Paige lived, Ethan Mars lived, Sean lived. So all 4 of those characters lived. So all in all, I got the pretty good ending, like the so close ending, I think. And then my second playthrough, I was a complete goody two shoes. I made everyone live to the end. Nyman Jayden lived this time. Everyone lived, and I got the great ending where Ethan and Madison and Sean move into the new family house. And then what happened with Nyman Jayden? He was on the news, I think, and he's sitting down on his desk, and little digital tanks start coming up to him, and he's starting to lose grip on reality there. Sorry, I'm getting a bit. Yeah, but that was my second ending. I think I'm doing it backwards now. I'm trying to kill off all the characters if possible. And what I want to include also is the Origami Killer. Now, I had no idea whatsoever who the Origami Killer was. I was like, who the heck is this guy? What is his motive? Why is he doing this? And I was completely surprised that Scott Shelby was the Origami Killer. No idea. And I'll make a mention of this sooner, of some emotional scenes, because one of his scenes was really emotional and it was really effective. But yeah, when it came to the Origami Killer, I was completely in suspension of disbelief. I couldn't believe it. When he's sitting at the desk and he's crying, he's burning all the stuff in the trash can, like the picture, the evidence, the way he killed his mate at the antique store and stuff like that. Also, what's her name? Lauren Winter. There you go. She lived. I just want to make a mention of that. Lauren did. I made her survive. I got her out of the lake before the car sank to the bottom. Food for thought. Anyway, next I want to talk about some emotional scenes. I already made a mention of Ethan Mars having to cut off his finger and cauterize his wound, and him saving Sean at the very end. I'm going to point out my favourite ones, so I'm going to try to pull out 3. Oh boy, there's so much scenes, so it's going to be hard to pick 1 or 3. Number 1 would probably be oh, this is difficult. I really love the scene with Madison Paige. I believe it was her first chapter, and she's in a dream state, and you get to do all sorts of naughty stuff like take off her clothes and, you know, take her to the shower and make her coffee and so on and so forth. And then robbers just come in the middle of the night. I didn't expect that, and it had like that very film feel to it. It felt like a thriller, because that's what Heavy Rain does. It's a very film noir kind of game. It's got aspects of film which works so perfectly in a video game, in an interactive drama video game, mind you. Another good scene I liked was, I think I mentioned the one with Scott Shelby in his apartment burning all the stuff. I really like that scene, and I really love the scene where Scott Shelby, he does like a flashback. There's like a flashback of him going back to his childhood, if you remember, with his brother, and it really described how he became the Origami Killer in a way, like what his motives were. You know, when his brother fell through the drain pipe and he couldn't help him, and he ran to get his father. His father was an abusive drunk, and to say, you know, get lost, you kids. That scene was really powerful, and it really made me think that, hey, this guy is not completely without a cause. He's not completely insane. He had, I'm not going to say like every person who had this sort of stuff happen in their life should be a killer, like a serial killer. Not what I'm saying at all, but I can kind of understand where he came from, and with his mother that was in the catatonic state in the hospital. And there's one more scene that I really like, but I can't remember what it was. I'm just going to address Nyman Jayden one more time and just say I really loved all of his pieces, where he had to like piece in all the evidence and find different evidence pieces. It felt like a CSI kind of feel to it. I really like that as well. And that's pretty much it at the top of my head. Oh, and one more scene, the doctor scene where Madison has to pick up some drugs, and then she finds out that Paco is the guy who who's the pimp at the Blue Lagoon, and she meets the crazy doc, and it felt very much like a Saw movie in a way. I really loved it, and I got the trophy for it as well. Woohoo! I think it was called like Rope Maiden or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, so those are my favourite scenes in Heavy Rain. If you guys want to add in your own feedback about what your favourite scene was in Heavy Rain, or what endings you may have got, feel free to hit me with those. I don't bite. You can write back to me. I'll write back to you. You know, it's a mutual thing we have. And finally, I just want to wrap it up by saying Heavy Rain is... Where's my... Here it is. It's sitting on my lap, dickhead. Heavy Rain will always be the apple of my eye. It really is. I'm up to my 6th playthrough. I'm fanatically crazy about it. I love the soundtrack as well. I would also want to mention the soundtrack and mention my favourite tracks. 3 would be, number 1 would be Ethan Mars' main theme, Lauren Winter's main theme, Lauren Winter, and Painful Memories. So those are my 3 favourite tracks from the Heavy Rain soundtrack, just so you guys know. So I think I'll wrap it up just by saying that Heavy Rain is fantastic. It's a masterpiece. If you haven't played it, you're clearly missing out. If you don't have a PS3 and always wonder what Heavy Rain was all about, I'd advise you to pick one up immediately. It's totally worth it. I really cannot live without it. Absolutely not. Oh, well, I wish I could make out with you right now. No. I'm not going to make out with my game, but I will say thank you for watching. I shall see you in my next video, which will be sooner rather than later. So if you guys want to share your own opinions and thoughts about Heavy Rain, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I'm keen to know what you guys think about the game as well. I'm sure there's rabid fans out there just like me who you just can't stop talking about the damn game. So that's all for tonight, and I shall see you later. Bye.